Previously on Talk That Talk. This is from wealthydiligence.com. 10 worst majors in careers in 2022, lowest paying careers. So let's see if some of the same ones from 2019 are on this 2022. Number one, starting off the list, hospitality and tourism. Average salary is $24,000. What is, come on, please tell me what is hospitality and tourism? What is that? Like, do you just work in hotels all day? I don't know what that is.
I think it has to do with that and like travel agencies and things of that nature. I think.
Okay. I don't know. I see that. I think U of H has a hospitality degree where they also have a hotel on the campus. And I think the hospitality students work in the hotel. So I'm assuming that that's what that is. Number two, theology and religious studies. So if you're trying to go be somebody pastor, you doing it because you love the Lord. And hey, listen, I love the Lord. No, I'm not going to sit up there.
Specifically. And you got a few mustard seeds of faith, okay?
So, number three, social work. They said the starting average salary is $37,000.
And that's ridiculous. Based off of what them folks got to go through.
Listen. Number four, human services and community organizations. So these are like substance abuse counselors, rehabilitation counselors. The average salary is $38,000. Here it is, ladies and gentlemen. I got to put it out there because this is what it says. Education's number five. Average salary is $39,000. Education. So, I mean, I'm gonna have to go when it comes to this education thing. It really is exactly the thing that Quan always talks about. You got to do it because you love it. And that's not to say that everywhere pays $38,000, $39,000, but that is to say that we all know that educators don't get their fair shake for what they deal with on a consistent basis. Now, can you make more in education? Yeah, I mean, but that's if you went to school to be a teacher, period, point blank, that's where you're going to pretty basically stay, whatever it is, whatever that is. But if you're trying to go up, be an administrator, being a curriculum coordinator, all that kind of stuff, moving up the ladder, you have the possibility to make a lot of money or a little bit more money. But the truth is, a lot of people didn't want to do that. A lot of people just wanted to be in there with them babies and get cussed out. All right, number six, animal science. Number seven, health and fitness. Number eight, you want to hear number eight? Please. Psychology. Starting pay, average pay $42,000. Number nine, criminal justice. Number 10 is arts, design, visual, and performing arts. So that's going back to graphic design, photography, fashion design, illustrator, painting, acting, blah, 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 blah. So yeah, this is
sad.
It's sad, but it's also sad because of the fact that I just don't know how do you move out of that idea and that thought process of calling that or looking at that as a BS degree. How do you move out of that thought process of telling a kid, well, I know that you like this, but you should be doing this? How do you do that? How do you navigate through that and get a kid to truly understand that?
You just tell them. I mean, mind you, this is coming from somebody who's not a parent, but I say that to say, like with my nieces, right? Or with me. My father told me when I went to, or even before I went to PV, he said, as a Black woman, you need to go into engineering or architecture. By the time you get out of school, it would behoove you to do so. My Black ass ain't listening. Went straight on to that psychology because I was too busy trying to be on the 50-yard line, shaking them fringes, okay? But I see now. But when it comes to my nieces, I'm telling their mothers, my sister has a master's degree. She's telling the same thing in terms of STEM, or look what you can do. Maybe it's shown, I don't know. the kids these days are a little bit smarter, a lot smarter than we give them credit for. They got things like TikTok and all this other type of stuff, and I think that they do honestly understand.
But that's the thing, right?
What?
So here's the thing about that, right? So first of all, I think the kids are smarter.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think the kids are smart. I'm not gonna sit up here and say they're smarter, but I think they're smart. But but I also think that they are oblivious. I think they're intelligently oblivious. They do believe that TikTok and the like are the saving grace and the rationale and the financial freedom that they want, right?
Sure.
But one, just like anything else, TikTok is massively competitive.
Right.
Right. And before I go on to everything else, I'm gonna say I had a student like that. Like I had a student who refused to do the work. Like I would come in and I'd say, hey, play this, do this. Mr. Luke, I ain't trying to do that. You know what I'm saying? I was like, well, what are you planning on doing with yourself? You know, because I don't mind talking to these kids and trying to figure out. But I'm like, what are you planning on doing with yourself? Well, shoot, I mean, I could just go on YouTube. I mean, I ain't gotta be, you know, I can just get on YouTube and do hair tutorials and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, you do realize, and I'm telling her coming from someone who's doing YouTube, right? Like who gets this stuff. Sure. I said, you do realize like this is difficult. It's not something that you can wake up and then you pop in and then it just happens. You actually have to plan. You gotta market. You gotta social media. You gotta do all of that. So you don't just post and go. Like there are things that you have to do to be considered even worth watching, and it's competitive. Everybody, especially what you want to do the same thing. And I have to, and I'm not gonna say it to be rude or whatever, but you want to do the same thing that most Black women are doing right now. Hair, nails, eyelashes. I mean, and we just gonna keep it a buck. You want to go out and get on YouTube and do that same thing, and then what are you going to do to stand out above the rest, right? So they don't realize that. They think that the TikTok is the end all be all. The other part about that is it's quick, it's fleeting. Once you get it, let's say you did happen to make it, right? You are that one random person who goes viral. All right, what are you going to do after that?
Sure.
You get your bread. What are you going to do after that? Do you know about investing? Do you know about IULs? Do you know about these things that are going to continue to allow your money to keep growing? Or are you just going to do it and say, I done made it now?
Right.
So, I don't know. I think that, I don't know. I think that there's a big issue when we start looking in those avenues. But I also think there's an issue when we ain't telling these kids like, yo, there are some degrees out there that just phony. I don't know.
I mean, I feel you. I think honestly, it's just a whole melting pot of send help us, because who really has the answers? Because I mean, truly, right? So you can say, okay, hey, just like my father told me, this is probably what you need to do. Look at these statistics. Look at this, that, and the third, right? I started off, I was like, okay, I'm not going to pick a major yet. In school, even if your mother is the type, or a father or whomever, your guardian is willing to when you're a freshman or when you're entering school, sign you up for whatever class. I don't even know how it works these days, or enter you into what degree as an adult. Once you get on that campus, you can change around your degree, this, that, and the third, your general studies versus picking nominating a major or what have you as many times as you want to. So I really think it's more so just doing your due diligence. But at the end of the day, it's also a little bit of just figuring out it as you go, because we've all had to do it. I don't think the majority of us are doing what we thought we were going to do, or at least not in the scale in which we thought we were going to be doing it. And I think it's just a lot of trial and error. It's just honestly a piece of it as well. You can encourage as much as you want to. You can try and show as much as you want to, develop and, you know, kind of be a community for someone or a people. But at the end of the day, they're going to end up doing what they want to do. Again, I ain't got no kids. Call me Mrs. Dog Lady. I ain't got no kids. So I don't really know what it's like to parent. I'm going to say that again and again and again.